Hi guys, so I know I've put out lots of videos for my March TBRs, but I don't want to forget about February. I had a really good reading month. I read 37 books, which is a lot considering there's 29 days in the month. I'm not going to talk about every single book I read in February because I've talked about them in my weekly wrap-ups and the vlog that well, it was my first attempt at vlogging. And that was fun, except for losing one of them. That wasn't so much fun. But yeah, I hope to continue on vlogging and maybe showing you a bit like all the walks I go on and things like that outside of reading. But as far as my February top 5 favorites, the first one is Miracle Creek by Angie Kim. And I like this a lot more than I went in expecting. I don't know why I underestimated this book, but this follows a court case all about like families and like the little tagline here is talking about how far will you go to protect your family. And the main family in this is focusing on a Korean family who have immigrated to America, and the father has set up this like submarine tank. I can't Habit. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it was a place where it's like you go in and it's pure oxygen in there, and it's people go in, they're hoping to cure things like autism and cerebral palsy, but mainly focusing on autism, because most of the kids that are attending there are autistic. But one day it blows up, and so the court case is all about who did it. And so as you follow along with the court case, you get each chapter focuses on a different person's perspective that's involved in this oxygen tank therapy, and as well as the family that is like hosting the therapy sessions. And so yeah, I really liked it, and I will for sure be looking up for more of this author's work. My next favorite is The Women of the Copper Country by Mary Doria Russell. And here is the cover here. And this is an author that I've been meaning to read, and I'm happy that she did not disappoint. She's written a couple of westerns that I've been wanting to read, and she, I guess, is known for being well researched before writing a historical fiction novel. And this is set at a mining country way up in like the little strip of Michigan that's like off from the little glove there, upper Michigan, and it's a really small town, and like I was surprised, like all the events that were taking place were true. I just couldn't believe it. There's a lot in here that's like people forget about, and I'm not from Michigan. I don't know the complete history of it, and I was just, I don't want to give anything away, but yeah, I was just completely shocked by everything that happened. But she focuses on one woman who kind of like rises up the whole community in fighting against the mining bureaucracy, because she's fighting for unions. She wants the people in the town, like the brothers, the sons, the fathers, to have rights, to have better pay, and because like there's a lot of death that's happening here, and a lot of people are injured if they don't die. And so yeah, this was kind of like a hard book to read, but it was also very inspiring. And what I really liked was the focus on a woman who helped with the mining community. It didn't focus on a man who was actually going into the tunnels, because the women were just as affected, because they were related or they were married to all of the men in the town that we were going to the mines. And so yeah, I highly recommend this book if you want like a different kind of historical fiction. And in the back of the book, what I liked is it talked a lot about her sources, and then she also gave expanded notes on where she did like spin off from what really happened, or she expanded on the events that she put in her book. And then going from historical fiction, the children's book that I really liked was Ramona and Her Father by Beverly Cleary. This is, book 4 in the Ramona Quimby series. And yeah, this book I just adored. I like all of the Ramona Quimby books that I've read so far, and so this isn't really much of a shocker that it's on my favorites of the month. But yeah, her books are just filled with like doses of reality, and even though they're children's book, there's a lot of like hard topics talked about in here. So in this one, her father loses his job, and so like it's in the perspective of Ramona, but you still get glimpses of the father going through depression, like sitting and like surfing the television and smoking. And so the big like conflict in here is Ramona and her sister Beezus want to get her father to quit smoking, and so they make all these signs and posters and put them all over the house, and they talk to him like saying, "We don't want you to die." And so yeah, I just really like the dose of reality in this children's book. That it was just a breath of fresh air, I think. With sometimes with children's books, they can be like sickly sweet, and this one, I mean, it was very sweet and really nice to read it, but it also, like I said, talks about some tougher topics. And so if you're looking for like a middle grade book, I think it's kind of, I kind of stretch the definition of middle grade for my March, because I like, children's books, middle grade. Where is that defining line? I don't know. But yeah, this one, this author, I think would be a good pick. Let's see. The next one is Denali, A Man, a Dog, and the Friendship of a Lifetime by Ben Moon, and this is a memoir. And I don't normally read a lot of memoirs, but I was just browsing my my library, and I saw this sitting at a counter, and I was like, what drew me in wasn't the guy, it was the dog. Like, it was a really cute dog. And Denali, I thought it was going to be talking about Alaska, like the mountain range up there, or the national park, but no, the dog is named Denali. And Ben named the dog after a mountain range because he is very much into the climbing and outdoor life. He goes through his journey of becoming a photographer for these big names in the climbing world. But so you get his like success, slow success, and like the struggle he goes through with not a lot of money and living in a van following all these climbers. And then on the other hand, on the other side, really, you get his devastating story about getting diagnosed with cancer when he was 29 years old, of colon cancer. And so he has to have a colonoscopy and a stoma bag, is that what it's called? Basically, he has to poop in a bag that's attached to his stomach for the rest of his life. And so yeah, it was a heartbreaking to read that. And then later, the dog gets cancer, because all these dog books, they never end prettily, because all dogs, everyone has to die. And so because we're following this author for quite a number of years, it follows the life and death of the dog as well. And the dog gets cancer, and because the dog supported him through cancer, and then he ends up supporting the dog also. And so normally I stay away from cancer books. I do not like reading them, but they're just too depressing. I know in my personal life, I've known several people in my family or friends who have died from cancer, and it's not a fun topic to think about, to dwell on. But yeah, this book, like I mentioned before when I first did a wrap up of this book, is even though it has a lot of tough topics in here, it was still constantly had that uplifting attitude. And also part of it was the dog, of course, like having that support, that constant, nonstop, no matter what, the dog is going to support the owner. But also Ben, his outlook on life is in the end very positive. No matter what he's going through, he still is constantly looking on the bright side. He doesn't complain a lot, which I really like, because I don't know how I would handle it. Would I be constantly complaining like, why me, why that kind of thing, or what? But I really liked his attitude towards things. I don't always agree with his decisions on how to handle things like depression, because he talks about as a kid he was very shy and had a lot of anxiety, and so how he deals with that, he turns to several different drugs like hallucinogenics and mushrooms and things like that I don't agree with. I think there's if you have clinical depression, there's prescription drugs that psychiatrists can give you, but yeah, he just wanted to stay away from that, and so he drops all of those drugs that he was given through a therapist, and goes the route of more alternative medicines. That I was like, oh, okay, I'll go along with it, but yeah, it's not what I would exactly do. But anyway, yeah, this one it was really good. Then the last one I'm talking about is Starsight by Brandon Sanderson, and this is the second book in the Skyward series. And this, I think, is the UK cover. I read it on the Kindle, but and I've seen in bookstores the American edition, but I much prefer these UK editions. they're much prettier, I think, because like the American one is just like the girl is like the main focus, and then just like just a little bit in the background of like stars or something is what it looked like to me. But anyway, this is following, I can't remember her name, Spencer, and the first book in the series focuses on her learning to fly. It's in like a flight academy, and it sort of goes off from there. And this one, now that she has those skills, she I don't want to give anything away, but she gets sent off on a mission, and you get to encounter like alien beings. And so I liked this one, how you're not stuck in one world. You get to go out and meet other people from this realm. And I know like Brandon Sanderson's known for like some kind of cosmos something. I think it's Cosmo. World of like all these books are interconnected somehow, but yeah, I haven't really followed that. I've only read this series, and I've read the first 3 books in I can't think about it. His big series, the Stormlight series, and Mistborn. That's the other one. I read the first 3 in the Mistborn series. So I haven't read anything else by this author, but somehow they're supposed to be all interconnected in some way. I'm sure a lot of you know more about this than I do, that are fantasy readers. But this is it's more sci-fi, which I haven't read anything from him that was sci-fi except for this series. And yeah, his writing style, like always like the last third of his books, at least all the books I've read so far by him, they leave each chapter leaves you on this huge cliffhanger, like what is happening? Just like the last line or 2 sentences in each chapter. Like I kept turning the pages. I couldn't stop. And so it kept me up reading late into the night to finish this book, because I had got to that point where he's like he's taking you at a run, and so yeah, I was all there for that. So yeah, these are my top 5 favorites from February. I'm hoping to have as good or better for March. But yeah, let me know if you've read any of these books, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, BookTube.